Hello everyone, this is our first lesson of Art 7 second quarter, and our topic for today's video is all about the personal ornaments of MIMAROPA and the Visayas. The Visayas and the region of MIMAROPA are home to quite a number of ethnic groups. Each ethnic group has its own traditional costumes. Some ethnic groups have very similar attires, while some have very distinct and unique costumes. It is interesting to note that even if these ethnic groups are subjected to the same kind of climate and use similar indigenous materials, they still produce varying examples of earth and crafts, some of which are very similar, while others are unique and distinctive indigenous products of their ethnic group. Let's go to MIMAROPA. So MIMAROPA lies at the southern part of Luzon, comprising the large group of island provinces of Mindoro, divided into Occidental Mindoro and Oriental Mindoro, Marinduque, Romblon, and Palawan. So the name is an acronym that stands for its 5 constituent provinces. So the Mindoro, Marinduque, Romblon, and Palawan. Now let's discover their personal ornaments. First, we have the ethnic groups of Mangyan. So the Mangyans are one of the biggest ethnic groups found in Mindoro. They are composed of 8 different subgroups, namely Alangan, Bangon, Buhin, Hanunuo, Eraya, Tatagnon, Tajawan, and Taubuhin. Just like the ethnic groups in the Mountain Province, they have unique communal characteristics and varying clothing traditions though they live with each other. One Mangyan subgroup is the Hanunuo Mangyan. According to Lolita Delgado, Chancellor of the Mangyan Heritage Center, the Hanunuo Mangyan is the largest of the Mangyan subgroups and is arguably the most well-known. The Hanunuo Mangyan can be easily recognized because of their indigo-colored garments decorated with beaded bracelets and necklaces. The men of this ethnic group traditionally wear a loincloth and top it with a shirt called balukas. The Hanunuo women wear a skirt, which they make using a textile called ramit and pair it with a blouse called lambuk. Both sexes wear rattan belt called hagkus. Their bags are made of puri and nito, which is the forest plant indigenous to the area. The decorative design patterns called bachodalnina of the Hanunuo are composed of simple geometric lines. So these patterns start off with a cross that branches out to other lines that are perpendicular to each other. So these are to decorate many Mangyan crafts and products. As you can see here in the pictures, they use it to decorate their clothes and also their arts and crafts such as their baskets. Next, let's go to the tribe of Tagbanwa. Tagbanwa is one of the earliest groups in the island of Palawan. So their traditional attire is made of bark that was beaten and softened to produce with fibers, which would be used for weaving. And the men traditionally wear loincloths, while the women wear wraparound skirts. Though their clothing is relatively simple, they make up for it with their accessories. The men wear bracelets and earplugs that are carved out of wood, while the women wear beaded necklaces and metal anklets. Next, let's go to Visayas. So we all know Visayas, also well known as the Visayan group of islands, is one of the three island groups making up the Philippine archipelago. Let's go to their personal ornaments. If the women of lowland of Luzon have their barot saya, the women of the Visayas region have their kimono or kimona and patatyong. So the kimona is a loose blouse with loose fitting sleeves. It is traditionally made from cotton and is worn every day. Some are made of pineapple fibers, which are light and translucent, similar to that of the barong, and are also worn for more formal events. It is often accompanied by the patatyang, which is a wraparound skirt that is tied or rolled around the waist. It comes in a bright and colorful variations with patterns of checkered and plaid. The patatyang is traditionally made of fabric called the hablon. And the hablon is a colorful hand-woven fabric. Although it is found all over the Visayas, it is also considered one of Iloilo's most popular regional products. It was popular in the Visayas even before the time of the Spaniards. It was used to barter with other Asian countries and was highly sought after due to its beauty, shiny appearance, and durability. In the late 18th century, the hablon, among other textiles, was one of Iloilo's main exports. It was so popular that Iloilo was then considered to be the textile capital of the Philippines. And the word hablon is derived from the Hiligaynon term habol, which means to weave. So the hablon is made of cotton, abaca, or pineapple fibers. It is also used to make a scarf, a shawl, and a wraparound that can be used to hold an infant. But unfortunately, the hablon industry is no longer as popular as before with the proliferation of imported and cheaper fabrics. So the demand for the hablon was dwindled. Nonetheless, there are still municipalities in the Philippines like Miagao that continue to preserve and develop this weaving tradition for future generations. Next, let's go to the tattoos. So tattoos are a type of ornament that was prevalent throughout the archipelago before the arrival of the Spanish colonizers. These were a common and accepted kind of body ornamentation. When the Spaniards arrived in the Philippines, many of our ancestors had tattoos that covered their whole bodies. Because of this, the country was nicknamed La Isla de los Pintados, or the Island of the Painted Ones. So the Pintados are tattooed indigenous people in the Visayas. So the tattooing designs or processes used by the Pintados differ. So, but the reason is the same why they had the tattoos, which is to prove one's courage. So the male Pintados tattoo themselves from their ankles to the neck. So you can see here we have an example in the picture. The symmetry in the designs is evident, especially the ones on the torso. The women mostly tattoo the backs of their hands with intricate and detailed designs such as flowers. The body art also found with those ethnic groups like the Kalingas and the Ifugaos is considered a status symbols. Since the process of getting a tattoo is quite agonizing, it was thought that only the bravest and the strongest can withstand the pain. So like that of the communities of the mountain province, the Pintados considered tattoos as recognition of the warrior's accomplishments in the field of battle. As Christianity was propagated, The tattoo practices were considered evil and barbaric, which eventually led to the demise of the practice in the region. Today, the Pintados are remembered through the annual Pintados Festival celebrated in June in Tacloban City, Leyte. Street dancers are painted with tattoo designs and parade the city in honor of the region's pre-Hispanic history and the Santo Niño. So these are just a few examples of the personal ornaments found in Mimaropa and the Visayas regions. Each region has its own unique cultural traditions and styles, making the personal ornaments a reflection of the local heritage and craftsmanship. And that's it. That's the end of our lesson for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you learned something.